giant. It's a giant, boy.
What's up, Pond Pirates? We're back out on Lot G. As you can see, it's a beautiful still evening. Very humid and muggy with no wind, so it ought to be awesome. We're still on the box of lures that we got from Tackle Warehouse. Got a lot of Savage gear in there, some Berkley stuff. There's just a lot of stuff we didn't get a chance to go through the other night. Started kind of late, you know, and Dylan came out with us. Backwoods Jeeper, check him out on Instagram. So we're gonna go out and start with that. I'm not even taking any trays. I do have to find my chatterbait though. I cannot go out and not have a chatterbait.
Not gonna work, is it?
Can't do it? Nope. I gotta know, because all else fails, I know I can catch fish on that.
Well, I've got mine on unprepared.
Yeah.
So yeah guys, we're gonna get on the boat, get the rest of our stuff together, and see
you in
y'all
a
out
minute,
there.
potatoes. Alrighty guys, we are back out on the water. Yes we are. If you happen to hear some music in the background, not a single note of it does Hookin' Heritage, Bo Stalvey, or Jonathan Cordy own any of the rights to. We just really enjoy it. Like the gentleman that's playing right now, Coulter Wall. He's from Saskatchewan, Canada. He's like 25. Dude he is an old soul. Crazy talented. So many props to him. We just like listening to his music, and a couple others like him while we're out here. But we want to give credit where credit's due. But what you got tied on right now on that Texas rig?
Changing it now.
He's changing it. He had a toad on. Now I'm throwing the D-Bomb by Missile Baits. Start out with a little Texas rig action, a little finesse. You know, get in here and see how they're doing today. Don't come in here all throwing around crazy loud baits like a chatterbait or a crankbait. Want to get up here and work these pockets just real quietly. Be respectful. They've had a long day too, chasing fish. Try not to get eaten. Come on, fishy. Here, fishy, fishy, fishy. Oh, crap. That was wide open. That got it on the wide frame. That little something got in there. Oh, he got you over.
Alright.
Was that a frog or what were you throwing?
Reaction Innovation.
Reaction Innovation.
Little beaver.
Little beaver from Reaction Innovation. Hang on just a sec.
There he is.
Let's get us a picture.
Right in the roof of the mouth.
You got your camera going on.
Yeah.
That Defender series from Favorite Choice. It's an old Shimano reel, but let me tell you something. This thing here is the jam. 7.3, heavy action, fast tapered. I had a fish right there. I wasn't paying attention. I don't care. I'll miss that fish to tell y'all, look. This is the first Favorite rod that I bought. And, you know, it was moderately priced, but how this felt and fished is the reason I pulled the trigger so quickly on the Emperor.
Yeah. You already knew it.
I already knew what kind of rod company they were. I mean, they're just, and I've never fished with rods of this caliber. It's always been the Walmart combos and that kind of thing, and there's truly a difference. Had to switch to the chatterbait. Wasn't having any luck on the Texas rig, and I don't have the patience yet when I know that I can catch something on this chatterbait. And I want to catch a fish. Bo's caught 2, and he caught them on the damn Texas rig. Because Bo has that kind of patience. And look at him, he's still up there using it. And he also, look at that bait caster. It's left-handed. Boy ain't right. But you know what? Hey, I will tell you, he makes a great point about why it's good to have different setups for different things. all of this is still a process. It's a learning process for us. I mean, we've been fishing for 30-something years.
Well, you have.
But, well, I've been fishing, not 30 years. Well, how old am I? I'll be 38 next month. And, yeah, I'd say I've been fishing about 30 years, but it's always just been for, yeah, let's go fishing. It's fun. You learn a little bit here and there, and then you get into the sport of it like you and I are trying to do. And there's a lot more to it, man. There's so much knowledge to be gained. Better fish. Right by the boat. And see, it's the chatterbait. It's the chatterbait. He's pretty. Big old eyes. Look at, ooh, dude, look at the scarring on that guy. He got chomped by one of these big old monster turtles. Yeah.
Have a drink on up.
All right, y'all, check this thing out. Make sure that's set. All right. So the way that this thing works, the way they've got this thing designed is there's actually a slot on the bottom. Like that belly opens up wide. I hope y'all can see that. That belly's open wide right there, and it actually holds this weighted swim hook. But that's a 6/0 hook, and so it actually rides up in the belly. And if you look at the fin up top, that dorsal fin actually has a deep pocket for that hook tip to set. So I mean, it rides clean. Your hook doesn't, or your weight doesn't get caught in anything. And if you notice, we've got our line just tied to this open eyelet. It still pulls through. But I think, Bo, the one thing I found to be just the coolest feature to me. So you got this genuinely really soft plastic here, and I'll make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, okay, there we go. So you got this very, very soft plastic. I mean, it's softer than the Rage swimmers that we use. So you imagine, you see this looks like it's got the screw tip on the eyelet. First time a fish pulls this thing off, you know, there's $6 or there's $5. I think it was like $10 for a 2-pack. However, Savage Gear thought of that. I don't know if y'all can see this little pin system right here. See if I can see that little pin system right there. You notice how it's just kind of hooked around and doesn't quite run like all the way back up in the fish. That actually breaks away, allowing the entire body of the lure to be pulled away from the eyelet. If you go to our Instagram page, Hookin' Heritage, you can see the picture of the one that Bo caught. What was it, Wednesday night? We came out with Dylan at Backwoods Deeper. Yeah, so Bo caught one. He swallowed this thing. But what's nice is that this shad body actually rode kind of up the hook shank back to the eyelet, and the tip of that crazy stiff hook was back in that fish's you know, the backer part of his upper mouth, which that's, I mean, you want to get them in that roof of the mouth. That's something deep they can bury into and they can hold on to. But guys, check these lures out, man. Go to Tackle Warehouse and just find some stuff that you've never used before. Pull the trigger on it, test it in the field, tell others about it. I think I've genuinely missed 2 fish while I was talking. It's all right though, man. I want people to know what we're using. I mean, if they're gonna take the time to watch us and this helps us catch fish. People, when you're fishing a chatterbait, don't be afraid to kind of jig the thing. You know, pop it back and forth, especially if the rod you're using allows for it. Just kind of give it, excuse me, I should say, especially when you've got something like I'm using, just a swim bait or a fluke or something like that on the end of it. Give it that little popping, that minnow, you know, like it's running from something that's chasing. Plus it intensifies that blade and it helps get that thump in the water that you're looking for. But anyway, y'all, check this out. That is the Riot Little Fuzzy. Look at the detail in that thing. The little paddles. It's kind of got the kind of like the Rage tails, but they only did one side. Something a little different. And oh, look at that. Y'all check that out. I just noticed that. So the paddles are the opposite directions. Look at that. Look at that ridge. I've not seen anybody do that like that. So check this out. So there's the upper body of this thing, right? So there's the little eyes. And if you notice how you can see, like, it's kind of got that lip to make it paddle, like the Rage tail is known for. but this side is smooth. Well, if you flip him over, it's the opposite. So it kind of gives it, I guess it gives it a harder paddle. I don't know if it's a harder paddle motion or if it's just a quicker paddle motion. We're gonna go back to the Rage Swimmer, the old electric shad. And you know what you got to do on these things? Look at the color in that thing, YouTube. These things are gorgeous. And they make them in a, what is it, a 5.75 or 4.75? Yeah, it's a 5-incher, but it feels much, I mean, it feels like a 6-inch swim bait. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, these things are money. When we first started catching fish on these, we simply threw them on like a 4/0 EWG, and it was weedless and weightless, that's it. And we threw them over a big submerged grass patch, at night, mind you. But now, we attach them to everything as trailers as well. So what I do for my chatterbait here, the Z-Man's got that nice skirt. You don't have to fool with the rubber band that you got to come up around, that easy change skirt. So what I do on these Rage Swimmers, there's always the head, and there's like, it's almost like a cap before the fins start. So I just bite that cap off. That's all I do. And then that tells me, you know, what I'm gonna end up doing is if you can see the hook slot in the top of this, I don't know how well y'all can see that. But anyway, there's the hook slot there where your hook sits. Your setup's gonna come out right at the end of that little trough right there for the hook. So that's kind of, you know, you bite that off and then you don't have to guesstimate every time. You just run your hook in until it hits the tail end. And I need to go a little further. Tail into that slot, and then it should slide up and run pretty dang flush. It'll run straight, so awesome. And then what's nice is there's that slot on the underside of the belly, so when the fish beat this thing up and it starts to tear from the hook side, then you can flip that bad boy over and run that swim bait upside down. Where are you little potatoes at?
Good work, buddy. Good work.